recycling orange colour, harvest gold. But because there were so many of them sitting outside the factory tagging them to be loaded to go onto the docks, they were a big obvious target for German bombers coming over during the war. So they changed the colour to dark green. And we have a dark green model following on behind. Now you see the orange Corsons, they have full width wings. The green one has a narrow width wing. This was all to do with wartime shortages of steel. So they trimmed the wings back to save on steel. So this will be a wartime utility model. And thousands of these tractors were produced to mechanise the farms. Ford was the only tractor company in Britain that was allowed to build tractors at full-scale production. David Brown and Marshall were the only other two builders, and David Brown especially had so much war work to do that their new tractor production was cut so they could concentrate on gearing for aero engines and tank gearboxes, etc. And Marshall also had a very rudimentary tractor, but it was their work was done with armament for the Navy and that. So the Fordson tractor was built in huge numbers. It was designed to be easy operated for the land girls, and thousands of these tractors went to work on farms. That was the first mechanisation for many farms. Now Ford wanted to bring out a modern version of that after the war, but there was still shortages of materials and they weren't allowed to retool for a brand new tractor. So they came up with the E27N, which was a stopgap measure. It arrived in 1945 and basically it was an upgraded Fordson N with a higher clearance and adjustable axles for row crop work. And we have Callum Walker in the E27N, followed by Albert Brown's E27N. The high major as it was known. Callum's is full electric, you'll see with the headlights. The one that belongs to Albert, a more basic version, and it doesn't even have lift on the back. The E27 had a very basic power lift as an option. You could have a Smith's lift or a Barley lift. And then another Fordson N, a green Fordson N, has been converted to a diesel engine sometime in its history, and it's pulling a fitted reaper. Angus Blackwell's at the wheel of the tractor and Tom Turnbull on the reaper. And this was an early way of harvesting grain. Another E27N, P6 version, Sandy Steel from Kearney Hill, and the Perkins P6 was a very, very popular transplant into a Fordson E27N. It was so popular in fact that you could get a factory fitted example eventually. Adam Fernie with another orange Fordson. This one's on steel wheels, and it's got the wheel bands on it to make it easier to go along the road. Obviously with these lugs that were put on there for extra grip, made it very uncomfortable for driving on the road. Willie Simpson